Hi, I'm Kelly. Hi, I'm Kelly. Hi, I'm Kelly. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is where I'll be sharing free video tutorials and interesting wire wrapping techniques. So hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments below if there's any techniques you would like me to cover. So check out my Etsy shop if you want to see my written tutorials. And thanks everybody. I shall see you there. Hi, I'm Kelly from Jewellery. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make these earrings, something a bit different for you this week. I've put a list in the description below of everything you'll need to make these, along with all the usual links. We've got Facebook, Instagram and my Etsy shop where I sell all my written tutorials, so if you want to have a look nosy at those, you'll put over to Etsy. To make these earrings you'll need 0.8mm wire, which is 20 gauge. I'm using square wire today because my square wire is a little bit like harder than my round wire, and this design, because this design's quite loose, you need like quite tough wire really. So if you want to go a step thicker on this than what I'm using, then that will be fine. So we've got the wire. You need a tiny bit of weaving wire, about 6 inches, 15 centimeters. You'll need a few beads. I think mine are 5mm beads. It's a bit hard to, a bit less, maybe 4. So that kind of size, but with this design you really can do anything you want at all. You can use really any size you want and just adapt it however you want it to be. So mine are just less than 5mm, so you'll need 4 of those. I've got 2 ear wires. Tools, I've got my pliers, just some standard pliers, round nose pliers, cutters, nylon pliers for straightening the wires and for like flattening the shape down. If you don't have these, don't worry, it's not important, you can just use your fingers. I'm using all Tronex at the moment just because I find they last. I used the cheaper pliers for years and I got through that many pairs of them that buying these actually worked out cheaper in the long run because you don't have to keep buying them. So I bought a set of Tronex and I haven't had to buy any more. So there you go. Tronex don't support me or anything and there's no links below, but there is a list of what all the tools that I use in the description below, and there's all the measurements and the gauges and everything there. I'm using a cloth. Somebody suggested in the comments if you put a cloth down your beads won't keep escaping, and it's true. Look, they're not rolling off or escaping, so I do recommend using a cloth for your beads. I'll show you, I recently made this and I think I spent more time on the floor trying to find the stones and the beads out of the carpet. This little one here, I just totally kept dropping it on the floor. This is a new tutorial, by the way, over on my Etsy shop if you want to see it. Take one of your wires and your round nose pliers. Measure 2.5 inches from the end of the wire, and that's where you want to grip it with your pliers. To mention my jump rings, haven't I? I'll add it at the beginning. So you want a nice size loop here so you can get your jump ring through there. So kind of like not right on the tip, but a little bit from, but not quite halfway, because you don't want it really big, but you don't want it really small, kind of about there. And we're going to bend the wire over the front. So you're bending it right over the front and you want it to come down to sit on top of the underneath wire there. And then I might have to adjust everything so I can have a bit more space to show you what I'm doing. So take your standard pliers and we're going to grip the top. So we're just holding it, hold it really tight, right on the end there. And then take the front wire and we're going to shape it to the side. Really wanted to use those gold ones, but they're just not going to fit because I've changed the wire I'm using. So I'm using copper beads. These are 4mm copper beads. So pop both your beads on there. Turn your piece upside down. And now we want to measure 1.5 from the bottom of there, from where the bend is. So we're looking at the front now, and this wire bends to the front. So we haven't, make sure you haven't turned it over. 1.5 inches from there. We're going to grip that with the round nose pliers again. Try and get roughly the same kind of size. You want it a good thickness, you don't want it too thick. And then bend that wire directly forward over the pliers. Kind of squeeze it too, so it sits directly on top of the wire. That's a side view. And then we're going to grip that wire right on the end. You can probably hear Gracie snoring already. So this bottom wire goes to the right, this top wire goes to the left. New tutorial now in my Etsy shop. This one's an instant download with loads of pages and hundreds of images for you to follow along at your own pace. So if you want to support me, head on over to Etsy and treat yourself to a written tutorial or two. I'm currently running a sale, so that's 15% off. So look after yourselves, and I will see you all soon. Bye for now. Bye. So to separate your beads, and this wire, I'll grab that bead in a moment, it's going to scoop over to this side. I want a bead in there, like that. And if you turn it over, this top wire is going to do the same. So this top wire is going to scoop in to go the other way. Pop a bead in there too, like that. Quite a nice pretty shape today. And don't worry if you don't get this right the first time. I've been fiddling around with this all morning. I love the shape, but it's just a little bit tricky to get right. But I've worked out all the measurements and everything, so it should be easier for you than it was for me. I'm going to pull that out a little bit and shape it more. So that's what we have so far. So looking at your piece, you've definitely got a longer wire and a shorter wire. So we're going to be working on the longer one. So hold it so your longer one is over here. And we're going to hold the middle, so we're holding it so none of the wires move that we've already shaped. And then take your wire and we're going to scoop it around to follow this top curve. Like that, so we've got like an S shape. And then when it gets to here, we're going to shape it to come up. So it sits next to the top there. So that's our shape. These are going to be huge. If you want little earrings, you could just make the little bar, the bar in the middle smaller. I tried that just, and I ended up with it all being a bit too tight. You can do that if you want to. So this wire now comes up and it meets there at the top, so it's followed the shape. And then when it gets to there, I'm just going to attach it to try and hold it in place. I'm going to wrap 3 times around the top wire. Slide it down to where it meets. And I'm going to go around both of them. I'll show you. So I'm going to go around, I'm popping it through the middle. So I'm wrapping around the bottom wire of the loop and that side wire. So I'm going around 2 wires. And I'll do that a couple of times. So we'll leave that for now, both wires on that side for now. So now looking back at the front, where this wire comes up here, you want to take your round nose pliers again. And we're going to grip it just a little bit higher there. So I've left a little bit of a gap. I'm going to bend the wire again straight down over the front of the wire, and you must always keep bending to the front. And then this wire is going to scoop to the right. So it comes down on the other side of this middle shape. I feel like I'm explaining it too much, but you can always skip and jump forward a bit if you can understand already what I'm doing. So then when the wire comes down this side, I'm going to bring the weaving wire over. I'm going to take the weaving wire and I'm going to go around. I'm going to push that down a little bit to give me a bit of space. I'm going to post it through here. And I'm just going to go around the whole thing twice. So I'm going through the loop. And around the whole thing, just to hold it all together. And then I'm going to secure it by going through the loop. So I'm going to go a few times just around the back wire of the loop. Please mention me when sharing your work made from my tutorials. Sorry, I keep knocking it. Please don't show or share images of the back or in progress, as it gives the design away. So that's all held in place at the top there. We can cut that off now. Using a slightly different stand, because this one is a bit tricky to make up close, so it does keep wobbling about a bit, but I will fix that for next time. I'll just press down, cut and press down the ends. So that's what we've got so far. So now take the top wire. I think mine might have bent a little bit. So we're going to take this top wire, pulling the bead up a little bit. This wire is going to scoop around and in. Like that. And then I'm going to cut a little bit off that wire. Where's my round nose? Pliers gone. And then take your round nose and we're going to curl this wire. I'm not just going to go around and around because I want it to go around that middle bar. So I'm going to twist it around through the gap and then bring it back up on that side. Does that make sense? So I want it big enough to go through the loop, so I'm not doing it with the tip of the pliers. I've gone up a little bit. Scoop it around and then I'm going to post it through. And it's got to go around that middle wire. Do you know what I mean? And then I'm going to pull it around and I'm holding the front wire down that middle wire. I'm going to flatten it a little bit. I suppose I should have used my nylon pliers for that. And then this bottom wire, just going to pull that out just a little bit. This bottom wire scoops around and it comes across here. So the bead sits below. And again, I'm going to curl that around that middle bar. Cut a bit of length off of it. And then I'm going to curl it around and take it around that bar. And every time I've made this today, that hasn't gone round very well and I end up having to cut some off, so we'll have to see. Flattening it. Oops. So I'm just squeezing it too. I'm going to cut a little bit of it off. So there we have the one. So you could make it as a pendant if you want to, or you can carry on with me and make the other one. I'm going to try and do it sort of go in the opposite way so they match each other. If you do decide to do it as a pendant and you don't watch any more of this video, thank you for watching, and please mention me when sharing your finished work. You can tag me, all my social links are below. So now I'm making the second one. So we want 2.5 inches from the top of the wire, and that's where we're going to grip with pliers. Try and guess the same place that you used on the other one. Bend it directly forward, straight over the front. So then grip the very end of it. We bent the other one to the left, so we bend this one to the right. And that's the only difference really with this one. Everything else is more or less happens as it goes. This design kind of makes itself. So I think 1.5, wasn't it? 1.5 from the bottom of that bit there. And that's where we're going to grip with pliers again there. And then hopefully they'll be the same size. So if you did a slightly different size, you need to match it up to the other one. So we bend the top wire to the right. And I've had to start again because I forgot to put my beads on. So we bend the top wire to the right and then we stop and we pop our beads on. This, like I say, you may not get this right the first time, as I keep making lots and lots of them. So don't be put off if you don't get it right the first time, because you won't. But it's really nice to do. It is really nice to do, and it's quite rewarding when you've made it and you can look at it and go, oh, I made that. So we got 1.5 from where the bend is. And that's where we're going to grip with round nose. There. Try and get the same size again. And then we're going to bend straight forward over that. And a little squeeze. The bottom one went to the right, this one goes to the right, so we'll just grip that at the top. I'm gripping it with pliers just so it doesn't twist, because it does tend to keep twisting. So these goes to the right, the other one went to the left, and the rest is pretty goes with the flow. So now we bend this one around. We won't worry about the beads at the minute. So you hold the wire at the top, and this one scoops around this way. So now we need to try and match it up. We just want the scoops roughly the same size. So we scoop over that way, and we'll have a bead up there too. And the other one, bring the wire to the front. That bent a little bit. So this one here bends over. So we've got this shape. So one goes one way, one goes the other, a bead inside each side now. So looking at it, we've got a shorter wire and a longer wire, and this time the longer wire should be on the right. So then you hold the middle, pinch it hard so you're holding it in place, and we're going to scoop this wire around to follow the scoop shape of that one there. And then when it gets to the top, we're going to scoop it back up so it follows, and it'll sit there next to that wire, and we're going to just attach onto there. So take a bit of weaving wire, we'll attach with 3 wraps around that wire, slide it down, and then we need to go around the back of the loop and this wire a few times. So we pop it through. I probably don't need to explain it this much. If you've already made the other one, you probably know what you're doing by now. I feel like if I explain too much, I can always skip bits. So I'll go round twice, and I'll leave that there. We can attach again on the way back down. So then we need to kind of guess how far we went on the other one. About there. And then bend that straight down over to the front, always to the front. I'm going to scoop that wire out. Don't worry if you're constantly adjusting it too, because if you're constantly adjusting it, then it should be fine. So that's got to come down there. Oh, go on. So you want it to be the other side of that. My square wire is a bit too tough for me today. So then when it comes down on the other side there, we're going to take this wire around too. So I'm going to bring it around, post it through the middle. So I'm going around this wire now. Just pulled it through. So we go around a couple of times. You don't have to watch me struggling with this. I'll go and sort it out. So we go around a couple of times and then we finish with a few wraps around just that back wire as we did for the other one. There it goes. So I wrapped it around the back wire a few times to finish it off, so it's the same as that one but like the other way. And then I shall just cut those wires and press down the cut end. So now you take the top wire next to the join and we're going to bring that one around to be underneath the bead, and it's going to scoop up, and we're going to twist it around the bead wire, that back bar like I did with the other one. I need to kind of try and match up the size of it. I was thinking it wasn't an opposite, then it is. Ah, mine's playing games. So working out this one, I've made so many today, it would just be typical that I'd made two the same way and I've got to start again. So we curl the end around first, make sure the bead's up there, and then we take that wire around the bar. And then we carry on bringing it around, kind of pulling it around and bending it around and pushing that bar down at the same time. I'm going to flatten it. I'm fussy, so I'm going to constantly keep knocking the camera, adjusting it. So now we need to finish off this wire here, and if we look at the other one, we need to come around so the bead is below, holding it at the top because we're happy with the top shape. It's going to come across above the bead like that, and then we're going to do that curly around thing around that middle bar again. I can get to my pliers. So that needs to go around a nice tight loop. I'm showing you around that bar. Whoops. So we go around that bar, and then I'm going to pull it around. Flatten it down a bit, because I want it to be of a shape rather than just a curl. I want it to be a curl that holds rather than just a curl, I mean. Sorry. And as always, I'm going to trim a little bit off at that there. And they have ended up being opposites of each other. I think they're quite cute. I really love the shapes of them. That is really cute. Don't know which way you'd have them, whichever way you fancy. So now I need to sort out some jump rings, and I'll let you know what measurements I use, and then I'll attach them to the ear wires. So I've added little jump rings to the top there. So my jump rings are 8mm outside measurement. You can use any size jump ring you want, and then I've attached the ear wires to those, and I think they actually look really nice next to each other. I do recommend you doing them in reverse. I really think it adds to the shape. Well, there you go, something a little unusual for you this week. I hope you have fun making them. I'd love to see how you get on. Please tag me if you're on Facebook or Instagram. or you can always email me a picture. I'd love to see your versions. I'm going to run and oxidise these so I can quickly show you. So there we have it, finished. I've oxidised mine. If you'd like to oxidise yours, I did a video on oxidising and aftercare. I'll put a link in the description below. Thanks for watching. I changed the ear wires. I was using the power wire, and I've changed it to sterling, and I've used the square sterling for that bit of extra strength because the wire's a bit tougher. There we have it. Please tag me in on Facebook and Instagram. I'd love to see what you make from this tutorial, and have fun. I will see you all soon. Bye. So thanks for watching another one of my videos. Please subscribe and hit the notification icon if you want to be notified of new videos that I do. Please like and comment on this video and let me know what you thought. If you want to see my written tutorials, they're over on Etsy. You'll find the link below. There might even be a link on the screen, and I will see you all in the next video. This is Gracie, if you didn't know. See you in the next one. Bye.